Hello, I'm Mike Munch, your host this evening for the 2009 Mid-Spring Slugfest Draft. The draft is brought to you by the Sun-Times News Agency and Best Munch's Cookie Company. The committee has selected the captains and put them in a draft order. Here is the order in which they'll be picking tonight. Number 1, Blake Baker has selected the Chicago Cubs. 2, Jeff Bradley has selected the Seattle Mariners. 3, Zach Cassie, Florida Marlins. 4, Matt Scarberry, Arizona Diamondbacks. 5, Jake Ewing, Cincinnati Reds. And 6, Neil Turner, Oakland Athletics. And with me in a short while will be the expert, Jim Muntz, bringing you analysis for each pick that is chosen. And right now on the clock we have the Chicago Cubs, Blake Baker's team. They have selected royal blue shirts with red ink.
I remember him, he was the only one using a drop 3.
And here we go, the commissioner's off the phone. And it looks as if Drew Sable has been selected as the first overall pick in the draft by the Chicago Cubs. So Jim, what do you think about that pick?
Well, that's a pretty solid pick there, Mike. He throws left, he bats left, has had a pretty high batting average. He's the TPOY Player of the Year last year, in the Streeterland area. Pretty solid pick by the Cubs there.
All right, and now on the clock we have the Seattle Mariners, and that's Jeff Bradley's team. He has selected navy and teal shirts. And right now, looks as if he's going to make a selection.
Oh, you want me to pick now?
Well, yeah, you're up. I'll start now.
I'll take the...
And he takes Dalton Muntz. How about this pick?
Well, Mike, that's another pretty solid pick. He's a good backstop behind the plate. Probably playing a little bit of outfield. Hits the ball pretty solid. Got a real strong arm. A real solid selection at number 2.
All right, and now Zach Cassie's team, the Florida Marlins. They have just selected Connor Armstrong in a fast 3rd overall pick. And
yeah, that was something I think that he had made up before the draft even started right there, and Connor's got a lot of speed, he's got a lot of heart, a lot of guts, and hits the ball for power.
All right, now the 4th pick, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Matt Scarberry's team. He has just selected Dylan Grabowski. Now I don't know about this pick. What do you think?
Oh, what a hot bat Dylan has! I'm telling you, that kid hits the ball harder than anybody I think in this draft. When he hits it, folks, it's just like tearing the cover off the ball.
All right, and now the Cincinnati Reds, Jake Ewing's team, they just went on a limb and picked Derek Schneeman.
Oh, the Schneeman right there. I'll tell you what a great football player that kid was this past year for the Streeter High School Bulldogs. But I tell you what, during the play last year, during the Slugfest back here, he had a real solid season. He's going to even be better.
All right, and that leads us to the 6th pick, Oakland Athletics, Neil Turner. And I think the best available is Tyler Wargo. Now, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. You got Tommy Segovich up there on that board, so that's going to be a tough call. But we'll see what happens.
All right, it looks like he did select Tom Segovich, and he's going back-to-back with Dexter Washington. Now, what about that?
Well, I'll tell you what. You got a nice little combination of lefty-righty right there. Segovich bats from the left side, and Washington bats from the right side right there, and 2 good fielders.
All right, and that is the end of the 1st round, and that brings us to the 2nd overall pick in the 2nd round, to Jake Ewing, who has selected, looks like Mike Muntz. Now, what do you think about that pick? I think Tyler Wargo was a better pick there.
Well, I would have to say that it's probably a toss-up right there. But Muntz has experience right there, and he's a good heady player, good bat, good glove.
All right, and Scarberry up now for the Diamondbacks, who looks like he's going with a lower pick. We'll see what happens when we come back after this commercial break. This broadcast is brought to you by Best Munch's Cookie Company, the bestest cookies in town, Sun-Times News Agency, and Country Companies. What's your idea of financial security? And welcome back. We left off with the Diamondbacks on the clock, and Matt Scarberry is getting ready for his pick. He was thinking about choosing Kevin Cox.
I'll give him a hug.
But right now, it looks like he selects Tyler Wargo. Finally, he gets picked.
Hey, what a great pick right there. Great speed, great arm,
You're a hugger.
good bat from left-hand side.
All right, and that would put the Florida Marlins on the clock. That is Zach Cassie's team. Who do you think he'll choose here?
I don't know. Caputo looks like a pretty good choice there, going from Marquette.
Caputo. All right. Taylor Caputo is actually the next best available person, followed by Brent Missel and Colin Van Duzer. Zach Cassie and his team is on the selection, making his decision carefully.
Is Colin going to be here for the second day?
And would you think that Taylor Caputo would be the best overall available, or do you think there's a sleeper there possibly?
It's hard to say what Cassie could be thinking right now. I mean, we're looking for availability players right now.
All right, I know he's talking about Colin Van Duzer, whether or not he would be available on that Sunday. He has a prior commitment. Other than that, it looks like the selection is going to be made down to Brent Missel or Taylor Caputo. And he takes Brent Missel. Surprise there, I believe.
It's another solid pick right there. You know, Brett has a good solid bat from the right-hand side, and he's an outstanding fielder.
Okay, and that brings us to the Seattle Mariners and Jeff Bradley's team. And right now, on your best available list, it looks like we have Taylor Caputo, Colin Van Duzer, and Kyle Haggerty.
You know, I'm really surprised that C-Van is still on the board. C-Van I thought might be going a little bit higher right there. Be a good pick, either Caputo or Van Duzer.
And last year, Colin Van Duzer was picked the 3rd overall by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Their team lost the very first day of the tournament, lost 4 games, won 1. And Bradley is actually deliberating with his fellow captain Matt Scarberry on this pick. Don't know if that's allowed, but looks like the decision between Taylor Caputo and Colin Van Duzer right now, or possibly Vince Siebert. And he takes Taylor Caputo. That's not a surprise to me at all.
No, not at all. That's a good solid pick.
Okay. And now that brings us to Blake Baker's team, the Chicago Cubs, and there will be a phone call being made by the commissioner as Blake Baker was not available this evening. And it still looks like Colin Van Duzer is the best available, followed by Kyle Haggerty and Vince Siebert.
He's got to go with C-Van. I mean, that's got to be the most logical pick right there. C-Van, he's a veteran. Even though his team didn't fare well last year, he's got to go with C-Van.
Okay, and last year, Kyle Haggerty was selected by Jeff Bradley's team, and Colin Van Duzer, as said before, was selected by Mike Muntz's team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it looks as if the Mariners are trying to persuade Kyle Haggerty to take a later pick and not accept Blake Baker's offer at a draft.
At a 3 pick.
Third round. And looks like Blake Baker is leaning towards Colin Van Duzer right now, and we'll see if this pick is correct, and be coming up in a short while. Still on the phone right now. And we have just we received early word that Colin Van Duzer will be the next overall pick. He'll be the last pick in the 2nd round, 12th overall. And I don't find any surprise here either.
No, there's no surprise right there. Like I said, C-Van, like I told you earlier, C-Van I thought was going a little bit higher, but you know could have to do something with the finish from last year.
Okay, and now we head to the first pick in the 3rd round, and still Kyle Haggerty